Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored.
Sometimes I feel like this country took this man for granted compared to what we have now. That man would never. That man did a whole speech and boasted about himself and his administration and what he felt like was good for everybody. And this man is not even president anymore, and he still is doing the duties that some presidents have not done in years.
Obama came out, and I'm not a fan of his policies or anything whatsoever. I'm not a fan of him at all. But I will tell you this. He greeted and shook everyone's hand in that room, and there was a lot of people. He went to every single person.
I just have to tell you guys that every time when Obama he steps on any kind of public place, okay, he make us feel hopeful about this country. He make us feel hopeful about humanity. And I'm not saying that Obama is perfect. No, I'm not saying that. But the way that he conduct himself in front of everybody, okay, the way that he conduct himself when he talk to veterans, when he talk to people, that kind of humanitarian part that he have to him, it is so refreshing. It is a feeling that it can make us feel good about ourselves and about about humanity. Okay, so I just love seeing these clips from Obama, and I hope that he can keep it going and he can do it next year and next year and next year, and that become a tradition for him, that he can just go and greet or veterans when they come to DC for celebrate Veterans Day.
Hey, just so we're clear, MAGA, your guy will never ever make people feel like this.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last
time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
Never.
Approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing.
Sometimes I feel like this country took this man for granted compared to what we have now. That man would never. That man did a whole speech and boasted about himself and his administration and what he felt like was good for everybody. And this man is not even president anymore, and he still is doing the duties that some presidents have not done in years. Still honoring people, carrying yourself with dignity. Like, it makes me sad to think that that is the man that's representing us. It makes me sad. And it makes me miss him. Damn. I miss that man. I hate that man in office now. This is my...
On Veterans Day, we're supposed to honor the brave men and women who put their lives on the line for this country, but Donald Trump simply can't do that. He just had to make this speech all about himself and, of course, spread a few lies while he's at it. Take a look at this.
Veterans, we have a 92% approval rating. We took that up from 38% from a certain previous administration that we won't mention.
A 92% approval rating. That's a lie so big you can see it from space. It's unbelievable. Donald Trump's not using Veterans Day to honor the veterans. He's using it to honor himself. His ego is out of control, but the crazy part is he expects people to believe this nonsense instead of reality, polls, and actual data. We're currently 295 days into Donald Trump's second term, and he has a 39% approval rating. That's, of course, nowhere near 92% like he's trying to claim, but over half of all Americans blame him directly for making their lives worse. The contrast here is crazy. Today, Today, Barack Obama surprised a flight of veterans as they were entering D.C., shaking all of their hands and saluting them. He looked them in the eye and honored their service with genuine gratitude and respect. That is leadership. You can feel the difference here. One man uses veterans as a backdrop for his own ego. The other one shows up to shake their hands and salute them. One of them makes everything about himself. The other one knows it's not about him, it's about them and the country they protected.
Obama came out, and I'm not a fan of his policies or anything whatsoever. I'm not a fan of him at all. But I will tell you this. He greeted and shook everyone's hand in that room, and there was a lot of people. He went to every single person.
He was the top 10 man that became a top tier president. Now he's the top tier former president. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on a minute.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with the 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
Joy in my heart today to see all.
And to all the veterans out there, including my husband, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, and I hope you have the day you deserve.
Veterans Day, and what I'm about to tell you is absolutely disgusting. While America is supposed to be honoring all veterans who served, Donald Trump's government is erasing some of them, and yes, you guessed which ones. See, this week, the United States quietly removed a memorial in the Netherlands that honored the more than 1 million black soldiers who fought in World War II. The display stood at the American Cemetery in Margraten, where 8,000 U.S. troops are buried, including 174 African Americans. Now, one of the panels told the truth, that black soldiers didn't just fight the Nazis, they fought segregation in their own ranks. They built airfields, drove supply trucks, dug graves, and liberated Europe while still being denied equal rights at home. Now those panels are gone. No notice, no ceremony, just disappeared. The Trump administration's excuse? Routine rotation. But there's nothing routine about erasing history, especially the parts that make America uncomfortable, and especially the leak. See, on Veteran Days of all days, this is how Trump chooses to honor service, by pretending some service didn't count. So remember this, the men who stormed beaches, flew planes, and built bridges for freedom all deserve to be remembered, because erasing their story doesn't make America prouder, it makes America smaller.
So every year they do what's called an honor flight, and I believe it's a bunch of different organizations get together, and they fly out veterans from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, and they fly them to D.C. So they can go see all the memorials. All expenses are paid, and it's a fantastic program. They've been doing it for years now, and this next video I'm going to show you is why I believe Obama was the greatest supporter of the military ever. Well, at least in modern times. I'll give him that. In my lifetime, what he did, he didn't have to do that. He's not running for election. He doesn't need any more notary. It wasn't a PR stunt. The guy is retired and said, you know what? I'm in D.C. Let me swing on over and surprise the ladies and gentlemen who are aboard this flight. So good stuff. Check it out.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with the 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
So Obama wasn't perfect, right? Nobody's pretending he was. But I have noticed some very clear differences between leadership that shows up for people and leadership that shows up for attention. Let me give you an example.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored.
All do miss him, okay? The class act that it was Obama, the way the United States was respected around the whole world, it was just beautiful to see how Obama interacted with all the leaders of different countries, okay? He was just such a classic person. And now we have we have the orange bouffon that everybody hates, okay? Our dollar, the value of the dollar, it went down, okay? The way that we are perceived in other countries, most of them went down. At least they are getting some benefit from us, maybe like, you know, that we're just giving them free money like Argentina or something like that. But all the democratic country, they see us like, ooh, what's going on, what's happening in the United States. And it is so big that even MAGA can admit to that. And you know, I watched this video in my Facebook, and I was reading through the comments, and the video, I wish that I saved it, that I screenshot, but I didn't, I forgot, I'm sorry. And the comments through the video, it had like 10,000 comments, okay? And I just went all over to the comments, and most of them, I just wanted to say maybe like 90% of the comments were all positive, okay? People were saying, oh, we miss you, this is how a president behave. It was just so positive. And I was just looking, you know, because I like to hear the MAGA version of things, you know, and I was just looking for, where are those MAGA trolls? I was looking in the comment, where are those MAGA trolls, okay? Yes, it was like few comments that were MAGA trolls. There wasn't that positive, but most of the comments were positive. And it was one comment that really called my attention. It was this lady that was saying that I voted for Trump 3 times, okay? But I have to admit, the Obama, he's just such a classic man. And I was like, wow, even the MAGA cult can see that, okay? And she just proceed to say, and I'm just so happy that a former president had the opportunity to do this. And then she started to talk about Carter, the President Carter, and I think she just went off the rails, and it was just too beautiful. I started to read the comment, and I was, this is so beautiful. Wow, MAGA is admitting. And then she just went off the rails. Okay, this go down the clip for now. Okay, and then she and then she started to say, he's gonna be like a President Carter, that he was just such a bad president when he was, and then he started to build houses for hugs, and then people changed his opinion about President Carter, how bad of the president he was. And of course I had to reply to that, okay? And I said, you know, Obama, he had one of the best economies since the 1900s, okay? He had one of the best economies, and he inherited that economy to Trump. And that's why even if he tried, and all the mistakes that Trump did, he couldn't break the economy, because Obama inherited to him such a good economy, okay? And I just told her, you know, a little bit more, but I just like, okay, I just wanted to just put her clear. And then I just told her, and he won 2 times, okay? He won, like, people went and massively went and voted for Obama, okay? So it's not like President Carter, no, okay? I just not saying that President Carter was a bad president. I'm just saying the Obama it is a great president. He's gonna be one of the top 10 former presidents, okay, for the history, okay? It's one of the top 10 best presidents.
You can tell the difference between someone who's being seen and someone who's seeing others. There were no speeches, no merch, no rally energy, just handshakes and thank yous. He didn't have to be there. He chose to show up and make it about them. But Dozy Dawn spent the same day at Arlington. declaring Veterans Day will now be called Victory Day. Because of course he did. Everything has to be about winning. Not service, not sacrifice, winning. He stood in a cemetery, surrounded by the graves of people who gave everything, and used that moment to brag about ending a government shutdown. A shutdown he helped cause. He congratulated himself and his party for what he called a very big victory. On Veterans Day, at Arlington, you cannot make this shit up. While one man was shaking hands with veterans who actually fought the wars, the other was turning a day of remembrance into a press release. Even at the tomb of the unknown soldier, it still had to be about him. That's the difference. One uses the moment to center himself. The other uses it to center them. Cameras don't change that. Intent does. You can rename the holiday. Call it Victory Day. But real leadership doesn't need a rebrand. It really just needs to show up.
He was a top 10 man that became a top tier president. Now he's a top tier former president. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on a minute.
Everybody, what? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
Enjoy my heart today to see all.
And to all the veterans out there, including my husband, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service, and I hope you have the day you deserve.
Look at this beautiful plane full of veterinarians. They said, sir, you've never seen a welcome like this before. And that's right. It's because they never had me. Love our veterans, and you know they love me. I've done more for any veteran than any other president, except for maybe Lincoln, but he's dead. And I've been in battles, oh, I'll tell you, I've been in battles against fake news, the radical prosecutors, the deep state, Russia, Russia, Russia. People say, sir, you're a warrior. It's true, they say that. You fought in Vietnam, right, sir? Tremendous place, tremendous beaches, and the women, very bonita. That's what they say in that part of the world. Beautiful people, beautiful place. I own a hotel in Ho Chi Minh City. I almost went myself, you know, but the doctors, they said, too dangerous. Bone spurs, those are the Purple Heart of the feet. So brave, so tremendous, so painful. In honor of your service, in honor of your cervix, ma'am, I will be presenting Trump Challenge coins to each of you. Only $99.99 on sale. I could give them away for free, but I can't. That would be socialism. What do I look like, that New York guy? Sorry, mommy's dying? This guy's crying. Very emotional guy. Happens all the time. The generals cried when they meet me too. Everybody cries when they meet me. I inspire tears from everyone. Beautiful tears. Perfect salute. 5-star salute. They teach this one at West Point now. Believe me. He said, sir, no one's ever greeted an honor flight like this. And I said, well, that's because I usually fly private.
Obama said, let me show you how it's done. Because why was he greeting an airplane full of veterans when they arrived to Washington? That's how you do it. That's being a president, because I have seen him more than the actual president. I have seen him on campaign tours, being grateful for the veterans who freaking sacrificed their life. I wish we had a president like that. Oh my God. I wonder who it could be.
We've been in a clusterfuck of a nation and leader after leader who has either been incoherent, accused of having dementia, not been in his right mind for so long. I forget what a real human leader looks like.
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored.
It's Veterans Day, and we have two scenarios happening right now. We have President Barack Obama, which did the stately thing to do, which was greet veterans and surprise them on a flight. Then we have Donald Trump, who doesn't know the words to God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside. Tells the veterans that they should die without complaining.
Dear God, he said, we ask only this, that if we die, we must die, and we as men would die without complaining, without pleading.
And is just basically running this country into the ground. And I say this because since 2016, really, our nation has been one dumpster fire after another of not really having faith in a leader, not really believing in a leader, in his capacity to lead, in his coherency, whether he's mentally sound. And obviously Biden wasn't as bad as Trump, because Trump is ridiculous and is ushering in all the hate in the world. But under Biden, we still were like, do you know where you're at? Do you know what you're doing? And that was evident when he didn't let Kamala Harris run from jump and, did the whole presidential election. But seeing Obama greet these veterans and seeing how happy they were and seeing how he speaks to people, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of class, and seeing how we have Dementia Donnie in office and seeing how he speaks about poor people, how he speaks about black people, how he speaks about anyone who isn't his billionaire friends or the ladies with their faces too shot up with filler at Mar-a-Lago. It just sucks. It sucks not to be inspired by a leader. Not to say politicians actually ever really give a fuck about us in the way that I want it to be, but there's still something to be said about believing in someone. This is why Zohran Mamdani won the New York election. There's a certain aspect of believing in him and ushering in change and believing that he'll fight for the people and believing that he understands what it means to be an average New Yorker.
And yes, MAGA is silently admitted that Obama was better than Trump. And yes, listen, for Veterans Day, okay, President Obama, like he always is a classic man with such a good manners, so humanitarian man. Okay, he went to the airport and greeted some veterans, and yes, and the orange buffoon couldn't take it. The orange buffoon went bananas crazy and through social and started to tweet, Obama needs to go to jail. Oh, he just went crazy because it was all praise for Obama, okay? And then Obama didn't make that day about himself. He made sure the veterans were recognized. But here, I got you all the details about it, okay? I got you all the details and all the commentaries. So stay towards the end because this is going to be really interesting. Please help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel, giving a like, comment, subscribe, okay? Just become part of the family of Jenny React. Okay, this is the family that never let you down. And you are always welcome. So stay towards the end because it's going to be really interesting.
As a veteran who served this country, over the past 10 years, I have truly lost my faith in my service to this country, the way that the country is going now, the direction in which the country is going now led by this regime. But when I see former President Barack Obama show up at D.C. Reagan Airport to surprise a group of veterans who are doing an honor flight, to thank them for their service and to shake each and every single one of their hands, thanking them for their service to this country, it restores my faith in my service to this country. Watch how former President Barack Obama greets and thanks and honors those who have served.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
It was really joy in my heart today to see all these people. It's good. We still got people in our country, and that's good.
I had tears in my eyes. I just couldn't believe that there was that many people around that remembered us and was there to greet us, and it was just unbelievable.
Former President Barack Obama did not go on that plane and look at those veterans and say, oh, you voted for Trump, I'm not going to shake your hand. Our veterans are being impacted right now with this current administration and their draconian policies. Many of our disabled veterans right now depend on SNAP benefits in which they are not receiving. So if you voted for this regime and this administration, don't thank a veteran. Don't thank a veteran for Veterans Day because you voted against our benefits.
This is an unusual Veterans Day for a lot of reasons. The majority of people who ran the US military for decades are now veterans by way of forced retirement, as the Trump administration spent the last 10 months purging the armed forces of anyone who wasn't deemed sufficiently loyal to the president, regardless of their loyalty to the country.
Donald Trump, a man who, by the way, evaded the draft 5 times. 5 times he had the opportunity to serve during the war in Vietnam, and 5 times he came up with bogus reasons why he should not have to go, to include getting doctors to lie about having a bone spur.
Senator Duckworth is one of those thousands of veterans who have come out against Donald Trump as commander-in-chief. And so far, she's been right about the ways he's abused his office, both big and small. From politicizing what is supposed to be a non-political body.
Our military is one of those last institutions in America that maintains the respect and the admiration of the American people. The people who serve in our military choose to serve in order to defend the Constitution, to protect the United States of America. They did not join up in the military to go and patrol the streets of the city and do policing functions and to intimidate fellow Americans from living their lives. Really a misuse of our military. Our military needs to remain outside of politics, and yet you see a Secretary of Defense, you see a president who continue to use our military as little props in their political games, and to me that is egregious, it's sickening, and it really disrespects the men and women who serve in uniform, who are far better than that.
To, like she said, having soldiers patrol the streets of US cities like they're occupied war zones, a stunt that's main accomplishments include intimidating civilians and hurting military families.
I served for 23 years. If I were activated to be fighting our nation's enemies overseas, or if I was activated to be helping Illinoisans recover from a flood on the Mississippi or a tornado in central Illinois, that's fine. I would be proud to be doing that. You know, if I'm going to be away from home at Christmas and Thanksgiving, I want it to be because I'm serving my country in a way that my community needs me. Not that I am being marched around our nation's cities to intimidate Americans and to try to prevent Americans from exercising their First Amendment rights.
And I was in tears. I recommend you to look it up and go look the whole clip, okay? Because I put part of the clips, but it's a whole clip. It's like almost like 4 minutes long. I wish you can just go watch the whole clip because it's just so heartwarming. It will make you're just gonna tear up, you're just gonna cry because the whole thing, how the veterans talk about how they just felt forgotten, and to see Obama to come and say hi to them. Then when they got off the plane, it was some people saying hi, people was clapping, people was cheering to them, Happy Veterans Day. So that was just so life-changing for these veterans. And not only Obama went and greeted them, he also gave them a president coin to them, okay? He just gave them a little something for they can remember that day. So I thought that was so heartwarming. I didn't know, I wanted to share it yesterday, but I didn't know how to put together the title for this. So I'm just so glad that I got to do this video, because that for me was just so heartwarming to see Obama and to see him greeting the veterans and see this positive side about this country. Okay, that yes, we have people that care, we have people that really pay attention to things. Okay, I know this orange buffoon that he just went in Veterans Day and he just make it all about himself and how he's gonna finally stop the government shutdown, and he just was the hero of the situation. Oh, the difference is from the sun to the moon. Okay, it's just so different, guys. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. Help us to support liberal media, subscribing to my channel. Okay, and please also, guys, I give you the money. I leave you the information if you want to cash at me, or you just want to send me a Venmo for coffee. I will highly appreciate it. It takes me a long time to edit this video, to decide the title. It's a lot of things that goes to it. It seems like I just stand up here and I talk for a little bit, but no, but just it takes a lot. Okay, so if you just want to make me feel appreciated, I will really be grateful if you can please send me money for coffee, or if you want to do a super tense. And I just wanted to say thank you for the ones that already did, because I keep receiving your super tense, I keep receiving your cash app, I keep receiving your Venmos, and that is just so heartwarming for me. It makes me feel so appreciated. So guys, take care. You guys are the best subscribers on the planet. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.